Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox, and one of the absolute biggest highlights from the Avengers Endgame trailer was the reveal and return of Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. That appears to be his former alias by the time Black Widow locates him in this movie, as he seems to have embraced a new alter ego, Ronin. And you already know I gotta make the joke, but also clear the air on genuine confusion. It's not Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel. That's Ronan with an A. This is Ronin with an I. Now in the comics, Clint is actually the second person to embrace the Ronin identity. The first being Maya Lopez, a deaf woman with amazing reflexes. But we're not focused on her. The MCU was like, nah, forget her for a little bit. Maybe we'll get to her in a few years. We'll see. We can make money off anything now. Now in the comics, Hawkeye actually picks up this persona in the aftermath of the Civil War storyline, rejoining the new Avengers. And he later returned to the Hawkeye persona in the 2010 Heroic Age era. And who Ronin is as a character is pretty much what the Japanese term for Ronin means, a masterless samurai. A lone warrior. Now, Ronin has a black and yellow color scheme, dual wields katanas, and in Avengers Endgame, has the face of a broken man. Now, if you're following the Avengers Endgame set photo leaks, the concept art, the rumors, the whole nine, then more than likely, you were anticipating this moment in the trailer. And if you're just a casual fan, you're likely taken off guard, and it was an intriguing, delightful treat. Ultimately, it was pretty cool the MCU was able to take a character like Hawkeye, this more or less total joke in the eyes of the general audience,
pretending to need this guy really brings the team together,
and turn him into a big, anticipated character. Someone who has a role to play. Like, I've been a bigger fan of Hawkeye since the Civil War movie, anticipating that team up with Ant-Man, which I still kinda nerd out over, I'm not going to lie. Pure fan service at its finest, like a majority of that airport fight, but I'm infinitely more intrigued by him becoming Ronin, because it sets up a character arc. Now, there's no denying that in the trailer, showing Hawkeye after Steve Rogers says we lost family was nothing short of intentional. The implication here is that Hawkeye lost everything. When Thanos snapped his fingers, his entire family turned to dust, leaving nothing left for him but a life of a vigilante. And can I just say, it's been a long road to see this happen. The internet is a dark, twisted place. Marvel fans are sick because rumors and theories of Hawkeye's family dying has been around for nearly 3 years. Pretty much immediately after they were introduced in Age of Ultron, I remember seeing fake leaks and rumors that Hawkeye's family would be victims in Civil War, that Crossbones would just blow up Hawkeye's house for pretty much no reason, and that would be how Hawkeye gets dragged into everything. So I bet people who either believed those fake leaks or was pushing that theory felt kind of silly when the movie rolled around, and Hawkeye's introduction was pretty much, yeah, cap call, let's roll. And then after Civil War, since 2016, there were rumors that Hawkeye's family would die somehow in Infinity War. In the beginning of the movie, during the movie, at the end of the movie when Thanos snaps his fingers. And now we finally have gotten to a point where it seems as if, yes, they're gone. So I hope you sick people at home are satisfied. But none of this really answers the question I want to propose. Why did Hawkeye become Ronin? And how will this identity propel a compelling arc in Endgame? Now, your family fading away is not enough to just come out of retirement and assume a brand new identity. Because if his family dying was a push he needed to just kick some ass, Clint would still be going by Hawkeye. He would still be donning the bow and arrows. Hawkeye has this appearance, this outfit, he has the swords, for a reason other than, my family's dead. There's a canonical explanation for why Clint wants to separate himself from Hawkeye. And I'm hoping once I explain my theory, you guys are all on board because I think it's pretty cool if they actually go this route, because it would add greater weight to Thanos' snap. Now, we don't really know where the Accords lie in the aftermath of the snap. I'm assuming that will be explored, but Clint's already gotten in trouble with the law once before. And I don't think changing his costume would be just enough. If he's trying to throw the law off his trails, he would have to ditch the bow and arrow entirely. That's where the swords come in. So I'm pretty sure he has the Ronin identity in particular, ditching the bow and arrows, just so that if any government catches wind of him, they'll think it's just some random vigilante, not Clint Barton. Someone who's already been into the raft, someone who's supposed to be in retirement, and someone who would be violating the Accords. Alright, but why would he need to change his identity? That still doesn't explain what he's doing. Now, far before this trailer, people were trying to speculate why Hawkeye is facing off against the Yakuza, as was something also spoiled through set photos. I've seen these rumors and fake leaks go as far as, oh, he's trying to avenge his family, but Hawkeye would be aware that half the planet just turned to dust. And considering everything he's been through, he's probably gonna figure out it was a supernatural thing at play, not anything at the hands of the Yakuza. Like, come on. I like the notion of Hawkeye going off the deep end and killing people just because he wants to avenge his family, even if he knows the culprits didn't do it, but he's still a protagonist. He's not going to go complete psycho. And I've also seen speculation that Hawkeye is trying to eradicate Skrulls, which is a really good idea. I like the concept of that. And for all we know, this corpse above Hawkeye in the trailer is nothing more than movie trailer magic, and that the final product will show Hawkeye above a Skrull corpse. But I have two issues with that. One, how would a Hawkeye of all people catch one of the Skrulls and be able to sniff them out? Like we know Captain Marvel's able to, but that ability will be explained in her movie. And two, while Skrulls are being introduced in Captain Marvel, I personally hope they're not involved in Endgame. Like Phase 4 and beyond, I welcome them open arms. I love the concept that possibly a hero could be a Skrull in disguise the entire time. But Avengers Infinity War began with Thanos, and Endgame needs to end with only Thanos. This needs to be his story. And even having the Skrulls as a one-scene side villain just feels wrong. It steals the thunder away from Thanos. So if it's not any of those options, what could it be? Well, I actually think I have a pretty good idea. The post-credit scenes for Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp gave a little bit of insight into the mayhem that Earth is indulging in. Everyone's being ensnared in their own little mini apocalypse. Assuming Endgame picks up in the future, at the very least 2019, as Marvel has a bulk of these films take place in real time. Although aside from Thor Ragnarok, I am aware this has not been the case for the Phase 3 movies ever since Civil War. I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp released in the summer, but that took place at the same time as Infinity War, which may have taken place in spring? Oh, we need an official timeline. No, that quote-unquote official one does not count. I mean, just look at it. I know I've already touched on this in my last Marvel video, but really? Putting Black Panther in 2017 when the movie says it takes place a week after Civil War? Alright, I'm gonna save my nerd rage for later. Either way, Earth in particular is probably going to be a pretty scary place in the aftermath of the snap. So many politicians, powerful, influential figures are just gone. I find it very interesting if the president, vice president, just half the White House, if not more than half of the White House, are just gone. Political figures all over the world are just dropping like flies. Now keep in mind what the Yakuza are. They're organized crime syndicates. I think in the aftermath of the snap, a plethora of organized crime syndicates, mobs, gangs, they're all rising up trying to gain control. The Yakuza? The Mafia? Yo, throw ISIS or the Al-Qaeda in there. Where are the Bloods and Crips at? Everyone's just trying to seize control of certain territories, and the government's going to have a hard time keeping everything in check. That's where Hawkeye decides to put matters into his own hands. With Clint's family gone, the Avengers either publicly inactive or so under the control of the Accords, Hawkeye, feeling as if he failed to protect his family, is now going around the world trying to restore some kind of order. Hey, that sounds kind of familiar. Killing people to restore balance after losing their oh my god! But also remember, Ronin means lone warrior, and I'm sure Hawkeye's feeling pretty conflicted. He's probably seen the news. Tony Stark goes missing, then the next thing everyone knows, half the universe disappears. Clint definitely has put two and two together. So when he finally reunites with Natasha, I can see this reunion ending in two ways. One, he willingly goes with them, and they fill him in on everything that's happened. Or two, without knowing the details, Hawkeye doesn't just blame himself for losing his family, for not being there fighting alongside the Avengers, but the Avengers themselves. Now Clint is pretty understanding, but when your entire family's dead alongside half of the Earth's population, he would probably begin to wonder, what if these guys aren't the greatest at their job? Now we know Hawkeye is going to go back to being, well, Hawkeye in the movie. The concept art verifies it, but I hope we don't get Ronin for just one or two scenes. Although the movie would probably have to move pretty quick, they certainly have a lighter cast to juggle around, so they can make his arc a bit more compelling. Going from this lone warrior he's become, but once he's given a nugget of hope, a chance of giving his family and life back through whatever plan the Avengers have, he'll begin to transition back into the Clint we all know and love. And I mean, he's got his buddy Ant-Man there. He can't be moping around down in the dumps for long. Now, Scott Lang's character is definitely interesting for Endgame. The predicament he's he's likely found himself in. And Scott Lang has always been the comic relief in these films, and while on paper that might sound kind of jarring, especially for a movie like this, I plan to make a video very soon on why it may actually work, how it'll complement this film very nicely, and just how important Scott Lang is to everything. But for now, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. Why do you believe Hawkeye became Ronin? Do you agree that organized crime has just gotten out of control, and now he's trying to restore society through, unhealthy means? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet them directly to me at AwestruckVox or at Roundtable Vids. We're also on Instagram. If you want to help the Roundtable grow, you can either become a member of this channel or support us on Patreon. Get access to exclusive perks. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that button for notifications and stay in the loop for whenever we upload Marvel content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox, out.